Creating an online profile on a social website really took the cuckolding fantasies a step closer to reality. It may have been a baby step, but it was definitely still a step closer. It turns out there were actually people who shared our interests, and it was somewhat reassuring to learn that was true. The podcasts and the books weren't all Hollywood or totally made-up fiction. Of course, the flip side was that these real people were reaching out to meet us. We tried to discuss as many of my fears as possible. My husband only had a couple that didn't overlap my own. While it is possible for someone to simply go out and find another person to have sex with on any given night, I had never been that person. The idea of initiating online chit-chat was terrifying on its own. I have always prided myself on sincere and authentic friendships and relationships. These would obviously be something more casual, and I had no idea how to do that. I worried about what to say in the messages. I'd never been particularly good at dirty talk or sexting. I worried about setting up the meetings and how we would make that work in different cities. I worried about what we would tell the kids if we were meeting in a different city. I worried about what we would tell the kids if we were meeting here in our own city. I worried about how it would actually work, since we hadn't done it before. Would my husband be in the room with me? Did he want to be in the room with me? How did he actually want to participate? This was when we really discussed all of that. The closer it gets, the more real it becomes, the clearer you start to see the details. My husband reassured me that he would help me with the messages until I was comfortable with them. We could tell the kids we were taking an overnight trip, if it became necessary. He and I both felt he should be in the room the first time I was with someone new, but neither of us really knew what that would look like yet. Some of you may remember that I've mentioned training myself to avoid engagement with men while out with friends socially in order to reduce my anxiety. Over time, this had the unintended effect of also making me feel less attractive when guys failed to approach me, well, ever. Yes, I am very much aware it is my own fault. However, with that in mind, one of my biggest personal fears was finally going through all of these personal trials with initiating contact with someone new, sexting with someone other than my husband, setting up a meeting and figuring out how to get there around our kids, and finally going through the whole physical preparation to meet him, just in time for me to see visible disappointment on this man's face when we finally meet. I was terrified that I wouldn't be able to recover from that humiliation. The interesting thing about setting up this profile and finally adding a photo, even a modified photo without a face on it, was that seeing how many guys wanted to meet me, well, sleep with me, was a weird ego boost. I won't say it completely removed all of the anxiety and undid all of the damage I did to myself, but it certainly helped. I'd expected contact from men in our own age bracket, but it was shocking to me exactly how many younger guys were reaching out as well. It hadn't occurred to me that I could be attractive to physically fit guys in their 20s. They should have plenty to choose from without looking at my late 40s mom profile. While I find that incredibly flattering, I'm still afraid they're looking for Mrs. Robinson to teach them everything they don't know yet. And I'm not her. I haven't taken any of the 20-year-olds up on their offers. Yet. Of the guys my husband selected for me to review, there were a couple located within a few hours' drive. We discussed each one, and I removed a couple from the pool. Then we came back to the others. We discussed what we thought the chances of it practically working with one, and then the other, based on their location. One was out of state, and the other was a couple of hours away. Would it be difficult for us to create a reason to go to either location? We decided we might be able to make it work. While we would love to have a regular partner in this relationship, we knew we were way too new at this to expect anything routine. Getting away for a single weekend shouldn't be too hard. My husband asked if I was ready to send them each a message, and that's when my anxiety flared. I said earlier that each step makes it a little more real. Messaging would be another step forward. I told him to let me sleep on it and give me time to think about what I wanted to say. Please like and subscribe in the bottom right-hand corner.